Is working harder really the secret to success? That's exactly what I'm going to be breaking down in this week's episode of the 360 Leadership Podcast. I'm going to be sharing some strategies about how you can avoid overwhelm and lead more strategically in 2025 so that you make the impact you know you're capable of, so you achieve all of your career goals without burning out and missing out in life. Go check it out. Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of the 360 Leadership Podcast, where we discuss how to lead with impact, balance, and confidence. I am your host, Lucy Gernon, a multi-award winning executive coach and a mom of three, and just a really normal, down-to-earth human being who doesn't like bullshit, who likes practical things. And that's what I aim this podcast to be for you, to really hopefully allow you to leave with some actionable tips and strategies that you can actually put into action straight away. And today's topic is something that I know many of you really need to hear, and it's called Why Working Harder Isn't the Answer, How to Avoid Overwhelm and Lead More Strategically. But first, I want to give a shout out to some of our podcast reviewers. Thank you so much to all of you who've taken the time to rate and review us on Spotify and on Apple. And if you haven't already, it takes literally like a minute to do it, but it has a huge impact. So quick shout out to a listener who said, I stumbled across Lucy's podcast about a year ago and was totally taken at how absolutely spot on her content was. Thank you, Geraldine. I know who you are. As a senior female leader, I've become a devoted weekly listener. Her content is modern, relevant, relatable, and is perfect for all of those living into and aspiring to female leadership roles, whilst balancing success and happiness. I'm in awe of how generous she is too, with terrific insights, frameworks, and tools. Follow her. It'll be the best thing you do this week. Geraldine, thank you so much. Geraldine was a member of 360 Leaders Club as well, and I absolutely love her, and she's a great podcast fan too. So again, guys, please go and rate and review the podcast. My team and I work so hard to produce this content for you, and it gives us all such a lift. We literally do a happy dance when we see a new review. So yeah, if you don't mind, just go and do that on Apple or Spotify. Now, let's get into today's episode. We do need to have just a little heart-to-heart, just a little one. I want you just to imagine this scenario for a second. You're in March, April 2025, which is in like a quarter's time, and you're already working late with your to-do list growing by the minute. You're dealing with non-stop urgent requests from your team and other stakeholders, urgent demands from your boss, and unexpected issues that throw your day into chaos. So what do? You work harder. You put in more hours. You push yourself even when you're exhausted, and you try to keep everything under control. But deep down, you feel stuck. You feel overwhelmed, and you feel like no matter how hard you work, it's never enough. Does this sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. And that's why I invite you to listen to this episode of the show, because I do need you to really listen to me when I say this. You only get one life, and we know what happened last year, and we don't want that to happen this year. Because here's the truth. Working harder isn't the answer. It never was. And in fact, when you push yourself to your limits, it only leads to more overwhelm, more stress. And the worst part, it actually holds you back from becoming the strategic, influential leader that you're meant to be. I hear this all of the time. I want to be more strategic. I want to be more influential. I'm doing all of the work, and my male counterparts are taking all the credit. Why? What's wrong with me? Why is this happening? It's because you're overworking, my lovely lady. It's because you can't see the wood for the trees and you're on the hamster wheel. And what I really want to say is, like, what's so important is that you have you carve out time in your calendar to pause, to reflect, and to get off the hamster wheel as a non-negotiable. Like, that's one thing we do in 360 Leaders Club, which is exactly why I created it. Was I kept hearing I want more time to be strategic. So we've carved out a weekly strategy power hour where some of our members do co-working together as accountability to get something big over the line that they want to get done. It's a beautiful space. Others just add the event to their calendar just as a reminder. And then we celebrate every week progress along the way. It's about like carving out that time for you. So for example, one of our members, Elaine, said in her weekly wins that we celebrate every week, she said, I made the 360 call on Thursday, which was a great reset for planning out my month. The calendar looks a lot less cluttered and results focused, and I feel great. Now, that is something that I encourage you to do. Is I know, if you're in 360 and you're not showing up to all the calls, guys, that's, come when you can, because that's what the structure is there for. It's to give you the accountability, to give you the support, the coaching, the training, the professional development. It's literally everything that you need. So it's really, really important that you carve out that time and space for you to work on you. And if you're not in 360 Leaders Club yet, you can find out more if you just go to the link in the show notes or just go to 360leadersclub.com. Because when you're always in reactive mode and you are so focused on putting out fires that you can't step back and see the bigger picture, you actually miss opportunities to lead strategically, to elevate your visibility, to position yourself for the roles that you actually deserve, or not even the roles, it's the opportunities either, and you get trapped in this cycle of exhaustion. And we're only in January. And that's why I wanted to record this episode now, so that I want you to think about how you can avoid it. Because let's be honest, it's not sustainable. And if we just think about the impact for a second, think about last year. Think about the impact it has on your life. When you're constantly overworking, it affects your decision making. You might find yourself making rushed choices at work under pressure, or feeling like you've no capacity to think creatively or strategically. And then what about your health? Your body can't handle the constant stress. You might be dealing with poor sleep or anxiety or feeling like you're running on empty. And then there's the impact on your family, your loved ones, your friends who want the best version of you, not what's left over at the end of the day, right? But if you're always distracted or burnt out, you just can't be present with them. And how do I know this? Because I've been there. And it's something that I continue to work on. It's something that I continue to lean on the tools that I have in place for myself, and the structures and the processes and the support and the coaches, because I know how easy it is to get stuck on the hamster wheel, especially when you work in the corporate space or in an SME where the demands are sky high, where there's constant problems. That is exactly why I started 360 Leaders Club. It's exactly why I designed all the tools and frameworks that both I use all of the time on the daily, and that I teach my clients too. And before my clients usually start working with me, they know that they have been just like you, and just like I am at times too, start thinking that if you just work harder and longer, it'll solve the problems. But over time, they actually realize, which is what I've realized, is it actually only makes things worse. You can't see the wood for the trees. So I have developed another way. And if there was another way, would you want to know? A way to lead strategically, set boundaries, and reclaim your energy. So for example, I'd love to share a quick story, just so you know it's not just me spoofing. One of our clients in 360 is called Terry, and she's fantastic, and I have her permission to share her story. And she is an IT leader in financial services. She's a mom of two with a very demanding, high-stakes role. And before we started working together, she felt like she was constantly firefighting at work. Her days were chaotic. She struggled to switch off, even at home. She was exhausted. She was feeling like she was masking, that she wasn't fully present. But after I implemented the strategies that I teach, after she did, everything changed. Now, I do want to just preface this with, and if you're multitasking, please come back to me. When I share these success stories with you, I want you to know it's not like we wave a magic wand and their lives are perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. It's not like you work with a coach and you're one and done. It's you get the tools, you get the strategies, right? But there, of course, are peaks and troughs. Like sometimes the girls are in 360 and they're like, everything is like going to absolute shit, excuse my French, but that's why they use the community to support them. So even like Terry's story that I'm sharing right now, she's undergone a massive transformation, like huge. I'm so proud of her, but she's she's staying in 360 for another year because she knows how valuable it is to have the accountability and the support, because inevitably life throws you those curveballs, and it's about having that space to go. But what she did do is she has learned now how to create better boundaries and prioritize more effectively. She started leading with a more strategic mindset, which not only reduced her stress, but also elevated her visibility at work. Like, so many amazing opportunities coming her way. And at home, she's able to enjoy her evenings more fully with her kids, and work doesn't consume her mind as much. Does it still pop in? Absolutely. Like, we're human. We're not like able to switch things off fully, but it's about the awareness behind when you're getting stuck in that rut. Okay. So I want you to know that, like, if you check out any of the stories that I share, or even if you've ever seen me do posts on LinkedIn or Instagram or emails, do please, read the stories, because these women are living proof that there's a better way to lead. Honestly, there is a better way than working yourself into the ground. Now, I'm excited because if you're listening to this live, I am actually going to be sharing a free online workshop on January the 22nd at 1 p.m. Irish time. It's called 5 Big Leadership Mistakes That Keep You Overworked, Overlooked, and Overwhelmed, and How to Fix Them. I ran this last year, and it was the first time I had done like a workshop style with a workbook, and I absolutely packed it full of tools that you can take away, amazing reflective questions to help you become more aware of your gaps and where you need to focus. And I thought, since it's January, it's the perfect time to set yourself up for success in 2025, because why repeat the same mistakes year after year when you can make changes that would actually benefit you for the lifetime? So in the workshop, I'm going to be revealing the biggest mistakes that keep ambitious women like you feeling stuck and burned out, why working harder is the wrong strategy, and the exact steps you need to take to lead with more impact, confidence, and balance. So if you just go to lucygernon.com/masterclass, you will see all the workshop details there. And I can't wait to see you, because honestly, these are magic, magic, magic. If you're listening to this live, go over and grab it. If you're not listening to this live, keep an eye out, because I host these maybe once a quarter or something like that. So please keep an eye out. And in the meantime, continue to listen to this podcast. And just to close, I just want to remind you that you are in control of your life. Now is the only time to work on you. There's always a reason to push it out. There's always a reason. But if you're feeling like you want to end 2025 as the best version of you in leadership and life, now is the time. You only have to allocate an hour to come to my workshop. Come and experience what it's like working with me, because you deserve to take time to control, to work smarter, to lead better, and to feel more energized and more focused and in command of your life. And I really can't wait to see you there. So just go to lucygernon.com/masterclass. And until next time, be kind to yourself. Take care. Bye for now.